Good morning, class.
Good morning.
All right. Put everything down. Only your resource books on the tables. Okay, hands up. Your right hands under your left arms, and your left arms under your right arms, and look at me. Our topic for today is additions of 3 to 4 digit numbers under the number topic 3, unit 4. Hopefully by the end of this lesson, you will be able to develop an understanding of mental skills and how to apply 3 to 4 digit numbers. In addition to that, by the end of this lesson, you are also expected to achieve 3 lesson objectives. 1. Activity A, differentiate the blocks of hundreds, tens, and ones. 2. Activity B, which about you're going to identify the values of each numbers in its columns and do additions. And 3. Activity C, to identify the additions of 3 to 4 digit numbers by using problem solving strategies. Anyway, just before we start our lesson for today, let's revise something from yesterday. What have we done yesterday, class?
Additions of 2 to 3 digit numbers.
Good. Now take your Muzu Mathematic People's books and turn to page 18 and 19. Our topic is additions of 3 to 4 digit numbers. Alright, before you do the activity, in this lesson, you're going to prepare 3 levels of activity which differentiate different types of level in which we are expected to have by the end of the class. Okay, so first one, let's look at the first example as for the first activity. Activity A, its instruction says differentiate the blocks from the place value chart, hundreds, tens, and ones. Remember that a 3-digit number is made up of hundreds, tens, and ones. In its value, it depends on the number in its column. Like, for an example, 124. Before we draw this one up, the first thing we're going to do is to draw up a place value chart and divided it into threes, hundreds, tens, and ones. And for the hundreds place, we got a very big block, and to the tens we have a certain long blocks which represented the tens values, and then the ones with the very small boxes. Now in activity B, we're going to identify the values of each numbers in its column and do additions. Add 3-digit numbers with base 10. This is an example of the activity. Now, if there is 120, example, if there is 124 plus 112, you're going to convert the numbers into blocks and answer the questions. Like an example, for the hundreds, you got 1, which you have 100 block, 2, which you have 2 blocks, and for ones you have 4 small blocks, yeah, plus another 112, you have 100 block, 1 tens block, and 2 ones blocks. This is equal to 236. You have 200 blocks, 3 tens blocks, and 6 ones block. In activity 3, you got a problem solving of 3 to 4 digit numbers. Like an example, let's look at this example before you do the activity. For an example, John bought a bucket of butter biscuits at $128 and a bucket of navy biscuit of $182. How much did he spend altogether? The first thing we're going to do to solve the problem is we're going to collect information. So the information we have for the story is we have one bucket butter biscuit, which is $128. One bucket navy biscuit with $132. That's the first thing. You're going to collect information. From this information, you're going to decide on what to do. And the next thing is look at the question. How much did he spend altogether? So in order to find the total item of collections, you're going to do add. Alright? And the next strategy in this problem solving strategy is to solve all working outs. Okay? Now before you solve in your working outs, you're going to look at the question, which is how much did he spend altogether? Get the question, refer back to the informations. You got $128, the cost of one bucket of butter biscuit, $132 for the cost of the navy biscuit, and then since the question wants you to find the total, you're going to add, and then answers. In order to answer the questions in problem solving, you are asked to read the question again, which says how much did he spend altogether, and then you answer in complete sentence. John spent $260 altogether to buy both buckets of biscuits, butter biscuit and navy biscuit. Is it okay, class? All right. Now let's look at your activity. Yeah, your activity. You got three activities there: activity A, activity B, and then activity C. For activity A, you're going to refer to the first example of the activity and answer questions numbers 1 and number 2 for activity A. The question says, draw the place. The activity A says, draw the place value chart and insert the following 3-digit numbers. So the first thing we're going to do for the activity A is you are asked to draw the place value chart and insert number 1 into the place value chart, and then go on to number 2, draw the place value chart and insert the question or the equation for question number 2. Is that okay, class?
Yes.
Alright, activity B, draw his place value chart for the following addition questions. Okay, so for activity B, you are also going to draw a place value chart and insert the two questions, question number 1 and question number 2. And for the activity C, this is the challenging activity. You're going to read and solve the problems following the problem solving strategies we have learned. Okay, I taught you a strategy in which you're going to follow step by step to answer question number 1. Yeah? You have question number 1. So the problem solving for number 1, which is in an 800-meter race, there are only 2 runners who are able to reach the finishing line. Lucas spent 110 minutes and Dione spent 115 minutes. Now, how many minutes altogether did the 2 runners spend? Right, so use the strategy we have learned today and do answer question number 1. This is a challenging activity. We wish you're going to do this as the best as you can. Alright, any question or any confusion need to be answered before we start?
No.
No. Okay. Now, no questions means everything is okay. However, as you work and meet any confusion, just raise your hands and I'll come around to help you. Yes, class, as soon as the last person is finished, everyone is asked to stand so I may know, and we'll do the corrections together before we move on to another lesson before its break today. Now you can start.